Chinese micro devices. Am I right? China makes all kinds of weird electronics, from hardware components to completely different products. They come up with stuff that we have never even heard of, which is pretty common to them. Like this idea pretty much came to me when I was just cleaning my room and I found this 5-year-old mobile watch of mine. I used to use this back in college days where it could even take a separate SIM card and act as a phone. You could literally make phone calls with this as just a separate device without connecting it to your phone. Now, this has since suffered water damage and it doesn't really work anymore. But I thought it would be a fun thing to take this apart and just explore the world of Chinese micro devices as they are and really understand why they are not so widespread as they can be. Of course, the straps have since broken off because they were fiber straps and they don't really handle humidity all that well. And I live in a pretty um, area with a lot of rain, so check that out. 380 milliamp hours, pretty huge capacity. Now I remember the reason why this stopped working is because the battery pretty much swelled up and it I think it damaged the chip itself. What happened was one day I was walking back from college and it was raining heavily and this thing got wet in the rain. I completely forgot this was on my wrist and it kind of caused the battery to short out. Now I did try with other batteries. I basically ordered a bunch of batteries to work with this, but I just couldn't get it to work. I mean, it was ridiculously cheap as you might imagine, so I just scrapped it anyway. This thing opens up pretty easily. There's not much holding it in place. I mean, you can already kind of see the internals here. It already has a full-scale SIM slot and an SD card slot. I remember it used to take up to 8 GB of SD cards, meaning that the built-in 500 KB memory was expandable up to 8 GB with an external SD card. The Galaxy Note 20 doesn't have an SD card slot, and that thing costs about $1,000. This thing has a separate SD card slot, so now things like this fascinate me a lot. See, it has a full mini SIM slot there. One of the biggest complaints that manufacturers who make phones have is that phones don't have space in them anymore. So they are getting rid of headphone jacks and making the SIM tinier. I think pretty much all phones nowadays have a nano SIM slot, right? What's your excuse here? This tiny device has a full mini SIM slot. And you're telling me Apple and Samsung and companies with billions of dollars invested in R&D can't really make this happen in their phones anymore. Now these things are inherently a little bit different from each model. This one in particular didn't have a separate earpiece, so the speaker and earpiece were the same thing. So you couldn't really receive calls in any other way. You just have to blare them out loud. So this thing here is the loudspeaker. It's basically a very loud speaker, scientific terms. And I suppose this circular thing here is the vibration motor. And underneath that there should be the display ribbon, which I'll unplug. There we go. And the whole thing separates from its touchscreen and the display assembly here. Now I remember the display on this was particularly sharp back in the day. I don't have any video footage of it because it was 5 years ago and I was just blogging on the site and I didn't even do any videos then. But yeah, I remember the display was pretty sharp and the touchscreen was actually quite responsive. It was a capacitive screen. I think I accidentally broke the SIM card cover while I was showing it to you, but who cares. There's a micro USB port here. It's rechargeable via micro USB. Now some of these things even have headphone jacks. Yeah. Now this is not one of those models, but I have owned another one of these watches even before this, and it had a separate headphone jack which you could plug in your earphones to. What's your excuse now, Samsung? You killed the headphone jack in the Note 10, but things like this still have headphone jacks. Of course, this was only the recharge port and nothing else. There are a bunch of components underneath. I think that's the processor over there. Damn it. You know, when you look at this, this is actually a pretty fascinating piece of engineering, and it really makes you wonder why didn't these things take off? These are pretty much dead now. If you remember, I did take a look at another, a more refined version of this, which was another mobile watch which you could wear on your wrist. It was from a weird brand, I don't even remember the name, but I have made a video on that. You can check it out. That was not very well working either, especially when I tried it with separate SIM cards, but it was made much better than this. It had an aluminum frame. The touchscreen was a lot more responsive than this. The screen was sharper. It even had built-in features like WhatsApp and stuff, but nothing really seemed to work all that well, especially on Indian mobile networks. But I think the real reason why these things didn't take off is because their lifespan. I think these things are really made as a novelty for to be enjoyed for a short period of time, and they don't really last that long. China has always been known to make things that don't last long, except for this year, of course. And I think the industry kind of gradually shifted towards more macro devices rather than micro devices, which are easy to produce, repair, and recycle. These things, once they are damaged, they are pretty much scrap. You can only extract some components like nickel and maybe a little bit of gold, which are traced in the components here, and rest of it just goes into garbage, contributing even more to the electronic waste. And besides, China wanted to break that notion that Chinese devices only last a couple of months. I think it was Xiaomi who started that movement in the first place, where they said basically like, we want to prove how good the product coming out of China actually is, because usually Chinese only ship out the bad quality products to us and they keep the higher quality ones to themselves. Xiaomi changed that trend, and I think all the other companies followed suit, and it's for a good cause. God damn, it's hot. So while we still have some products like this somewhere in China, which you can kind of find in places like Alibaba or something, the mainstream market has largely moved away from this, and I'm actually happy about it. Even though I won't get to see interesting stuff like this anymore, at least it's good for the environment that we are getting longer lasting products which are better quality and, more importantly, safer to use. And of course, quality control is one of the major things that has changed about these things. I remember back when I still had this, since it was wet in the rain, I didn't realize the battery was wet. So when I plugged it into charge, the whole thing started smoking and it almost caught fire. Like, these things shouldn't really happen in real world, and when they do happen, they are treated with the seriousness that they deserve. But back in the day, it wasn't like that. In exchange of these low costs and the cool novelty factor that, hey, look what I got, you basically had to be at the mercy of this product, whether it's working fine or not. If it goes off, that's on you. And as crazy and stupid as it sounds, that's the way the industry was, and I'm glad they have moved away from this. Now, while this is cool, I don't really see a use case where anyone could use this safely or even practically. Now, is this cool? Absolutely. I mean, look at this. It's a tiny microcomputer on your wrist. It has a dedicated CPU, a RAM. It even has an antenna for phone calls. Takes a SIM card. It's a standalone device which can be used for emergencies. It can even be used as your secondary phone when you don't want to use your primary phone, but you just want to make some phone calls. And I think this thing came with the Bluetooth earpiece as well. I don't remember exactly. But as cool as it sounds, it wasn't really safe, as I mentioned. And I'm really glad that the whole Chinese landscape, at least in the gadgets era, has moved more towards quality over quantity. I'm really glad we don't have to rely on those horrible unbranded China phones and stuff for communication purposes. We have good brands which are dedicated to the consumers to offer good quality products and services that last a very long time, and that's far more important than the cool novelty factor, which basically wears off in a few months. Anyway, this was my 2 cents about the Chinese micro devices and some weird stuff that I found around that I wanted to share with you. Have you ever owned anything like this? Any knockoff iPods which were basically music players called iPods? A huge trademark violation, but no one cared because they are not branded items anyway. Stuff from China always got a pass, no matter what. Leave your thoughts and experiences in the comments down below. I'd love to read them. And with that said, until next time, take it easy, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.